Welcome to Dreamland Chronicles. Join us as we explore the beauty of sleep through a variety of soothing stories. Our goal is to help you drift away into a world of relaxation and peaceful dreams. So come drift off with us on a journey into the realm of sleep and let us show you just how beautiful dreaming can be. Now, let's get to our story. It was a typical Parisian morning, the sun just beginning to rise over the city, casting a warm golden glow over the buildings and streets. Isabelle, a budding fashion designer, was making her way to her atelier for her daily routine. As she walked, she couldn't help but feel a sense of excitement and a hint of nervousness. Today was the day of her first solo fashion show, and she had poured her heart and soul into creating the perfect collection. As she entered her atelier, she was greeted by her team of seamstresses and models, all bustling around in preparation for the show. Isabelle quickly got to work, making final adjustments to the garments, ensuring that everything was perfect. As the day went on, Isabelle couldn't shake off the feeling that something was missing. She couldn't quite put her finger on it, but she knew that something was not quite right. It wasn't until she was sitting front row at her own show, surrounded by some of the most influential people in the fashion industry, that she realized what was missing. Her boyfriend, the love of her life, was not there to share this moment with her. They had been dating for 3 years, but due to his job as a journalist, he was currently on assignment in Africa and unable to attend her show. The show was a success, and Isabelle received a standing ovation from the crowd. But as she took her final bow, she couldn't shake off the feeling of emptiness. Days passed and Isabelle threw herself into her work, trying to distract herself from the feeling of loneliness. She was in the middle of a meeting with her team, discussing her next collection, when her phone rang. It was her boyfriend, calling to tell her that he was back in Paris and couldn't wait to see her. Isabelle's heart skipped a beat as she hung up the phone. She couldn't wait to see him, to tell him all about her show and to finally have him by her side, to share in her success. They met at a small cafe, one of their favorites, and as soon as she saw him, all of her doubts and worries dissipated. They talked for hours, about everything and anything, and Isabelle couldn't help but feel grateful for the love and support that he provided. The rest of the day was spent exploring the city, hand in hand, and for the first time in what felt like forever, Isabelle felt truly happy and content. As the sun set over Paris, they sat on the banks of the Seine, watching the boats float by. Isabelle's boyfriend turned to her and said, "I know I wasn't there for your show, but I want you to know that I am incredibly proud of you and all of your hard work. I love you, Isabelle." Tears welled up in Isabelle's eyes as she replied, "I love you too." From that day on, Isabelle and her boyfriend were inseparable. They supported each other through all of their successes and challenges, and their love for each other only continued to grow stronger. Years passed, and Isabelle's fashion line became one of the most sought after in the industry. They traveled the world together, and eventually, they decided to start a family. As they sat in their living room, surrounded by their children and grandchildren, Isabelle couldn't help but feel grateful for the love that they had shared, and the life that they had built together. Their love story had been one of ups and downs, but through it all, they had always found their way back to each other. As they sat there, holding hands, Isabelle looked over at her husband and knew that he was her everything. Years turned into decades, and Isabelle and her husband grew old together. They continued to travel the world, and their love for each other never wavered. They were each other's best friend, confidant, and partner in life. As Isabelle sat on the balcony of their apartment, overlooking the city of Paris, she couldn't help but reflect on their love story. She thought about the day they met, the day of her first solo fashion show, and all of the moments in between. She thought about the hardships they faced and the joys they shared, and she knew that their love had been a true fairy tale. As she looked over at her husband, she realized that she had been blessed to have found true love, and to have shared her life with the most wonderful person she had ever known. They sat in silence, holding hands, and as the sun set over Paris, Isabelle knew that she had lived a life filled with love and happiness, and that was all that truly mattered. Their love story was one for the ages, one that would be remembered and cherished for many years to come. And as they sat there, surrounded by the city that had played such a big role in their love story, Isabelle and her husband knew that their love was eternal, and that they would be together forever.